欢迎收听肾脏 Plugged In。这期节目我们继续采访 Mitch 和他的母亲 Cris。Mitch 刚刚完成了肾脏移植手术，他将会和大家分享他这5年里从得到诊断、得知患病与病魔做斗争，并最终成功肾脏移植的个人里程。首先，我们欢迎 BC 省和 Yukon 地区分会董事会主席 Wade Hayley 代表 BC 省和 Yukon 地区分会的董事会和工作人员向大家致以节日问候。请不要走开，接下来我们继续收听 Plugged In 的节日特别版。
Well, it's that time of year again. And the one word that summarized 2020, gosh, it seemed like such a long time ago, was uncertainty. 2021 continued to be challenging on several fronts. Not only did the global pandemic surge on, but here in BC, our hearts went out to the many communities and families affected by the devastating wildfires and the recent floods and mudslides. And the rebuilding of roadways and communities will continue into 2022. While it seems that our strength of spirit continues to be tested, I'm filled with optimism and hope through the heartwarming stories of the people stepping up and helping their fellow neighbors, both near and far. Thanks to our amazing volunteers, donors, and supporters. I'm proud to say that here at the Kidney Foundation, BC and Yukon Branch, our support to kidney patients remained as strong as ever in 2021, as we continue to deliver and expand on our much-needed programs and services. I'm also proud to say that 2021 marked the 50th year of the BC and Yukon Branch. Yes, 50 years. And so much has changed since we opened our doors, including many advancements through research, dialysis treatments, and transplants. But we still are in need of a cure. As we move to 2022, the Foundation will remain steadfast in our commitment to increase revenue and invest in research and programs that continue to enhance the quality of life for kidney patients. And we'll work to ensure that those who need it most have equitable access to programs, services, and treatments. We will continue to shine a light on kidney disease, a disease that is on the rise but flies under the radar. We will continue to educate and promote organ donor awareness and support patients and their families through that process. And finally, we'll continue to grow and invest in our most valuable resources, our volunteers. But for now, on behalf of the BC and Yukon Branch of the Kidney Foundation of Canada, I would like to wish each of you and your loved ones the very best for this holiday season. Be kind, be safe. Cheers to a healthy, happy, and safe new year. Thank you.
Previously on Kidney Plugged In. Cris, your family decided to pay it forward and donate the WestJet gift of flight that you'd received to the Kidney Foundation because your son had been diagnosed with kidney disease. So can you take us back and really tell us what led to his diagnosis and started you on that journey?
The whole thing started when he was 19. He became quite ill. We ended up taking him to the hospital. He doesn't remember a whole lot of it because he was coughing up blood at the time. That evening, within 5 hours, he was transferred to the ICU. They said to me his kidneys were starting to shut down, but they had no idea why. Within an hour after being in the ICU, the decision was made to put him on life support. The next day, the decision was made to take him to a higher care facility because he was still declining. He was in a coma during this time, and when I arrived there, they were keeping him alive manually at that point, which was difficult. At that point, they gave my son less than 5% chance of survival. He stayed in that hospital for 8 weeks in a coma. During that time, he was continuously on dialysis. He was on life support. He was on every kind of medication that they could give him because they still didn't know what was causing his disease. He had started to get better, and after being in a coma for 8 weeks, he woke up. After 10 weeks, he was released from the hospital.
Yeah, when I got out of the hospital, that was tough. I had trouble walking completely. My muscles pretty much didn't work. So swimming helped me the most with learning how to walk and stuff like that. Just moving the arms and legs.
He was getting better, and one of the medications that he was on, prednisone, they started to taper that down. Unfortunately, the disease wasn't through with him. The prednisone started tapering down and he started getting sick again. So we took him back into the hospital, at which time a decision was made to do a kidney biopsy. The kidney biopsy showed that he had Goodpasture syndrome. So he was sent back to another higher care facility in Vancouver, where he was in the hospital again for 6 weeks doing plasmapheresis. And that was tough because they put him on high-dose steroids, and he went from a 200-pound young man to a 300-pound young man and has stretch marks.
Yeah, I was pretty much ripping apart. I remember waking up with blood in my bed. That part wasn't fun.
But the relief, just knowing that my son survived, and to be honest, we have the most incredible team of doctors at every single hospital
Yep,
in the Lower Mainland. I will be forever grateful.
We continue with part 2 of our interview next. Cris and Mitch, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Barb.
Yeah,
Happy to be
thank you
here.
very much.
2019 marked a turning point in Mitch's journey. Can you tell us about that?
The decision was made to start peritoneal dialysis because his kidney function had dropped below 10. So we made the decision of peritoneal together based on the doctor's recommendation of not having to keep coming into the hospital. And it would be something that he would do every night, but he'd have a care, like, to be able to go and do things during the day. What people don't realize with kidney disease as well is his whole schedule of sleeping changed. So even though he was doing peritoneal dialysis at night, he was awake and slept a lot through the day. And, you know, it was kind of a change for him as well, and kind of a change for me, because I didn't get a lot of sleep because I'd be worried about him having seizures or something going wrong. So it was challenging.
So Mitch, can you describe what it was like being on peritoneal dialysis for someone that's never been on PD?
Well, basically, what would happen, it was pump you full of fluid, and then it would latch on to the electrolytes and stuff like that, and then it would drain it and kind of bring that out of your body, and then put new fluid in, repeat the process, and then the last cycle, just put it in, and then you take it out the next night and continue that process.
But what people don't understand is also learning how to wash your hands properly. So the whole process of washing your hands for 2 minutes, making sure you're wearing a mask, nobody being allowed to be around when he's hooking up unless they're wearing a mask, because the risk of infection is high because you're open into your belly. Wiping the ends down with iodine so they're clean before you hook yourself up, making sure there's no redness or bleeding or infection that comes within it. You're constantly, and you do that every time. And what people don't understand in peritoneal dialysis, I don't know if they truly understand even where the fluid goes. So where you or I go to the washroom to get rid of urine, in peritoneal dialysis, it comes out of a tube out of your belly, your urine. And that tube, unless it can go into where we have animals in the house, we made the choice of, it went actually literally into a gas can, and where that gas can got dumped daily and cleaned. So everybody takes for granted the ease of just going to a washroom. And
so while Mitch was on PD, this was the process he had to go through every night.
Every night.
Yeah.
So how long was Mitch on PD altogether?
1 year.
Yeah.
So were you placed on the transplant list at the same time that you went on PD?
Right away.
So it was a full year that you were waiting for that phone call.
Yeah.
And at the end of that year, you came off PD. So what changed?
Got the transplant.
Got the phone call.
And what a monumental phone call that was.
Yeah, it was life-changing.
Cris and Mitch are going to be back with us to talk more about the phone call that changed their lives. And you're not going to want to miss this. So stay with us.
Hey, honey, I lost the list for Jason's birthday thing. Obviously, hamburger, cakes. No, not hamburger cakes. Hamburgers and cake. And buns, sausage.
Okay. Ooh, eye candy.
Is it a full moon tonight? People are being weird. And don't forget to make the Facebook event private this time. Okay, bye.
Can you imagine losing most of something without realizing it? Over time, kidney disease can destroy up to 80% of kidney function before you notice any symptoms. Talk to your family doctor to see if you're at risk and need to be screened. It could save your life.
So let's go back to the day the phone rang. Mitch, you answered the phone, but Cris, you felt there was something different about that ring. So can you talk about the emotions that you were feeling at that moment?
Oh my gosh, so many mixed emotions. He came out, it was unbelievable. He came out and I knew he was upstairs and he came out and I could see this glow on him. And I knew it was a physician and I felt it. And then all of a sudden he says, Mom, I think I'm getting my transplant. And then he's like, here's the doctor. And it was like, we need you to leave Chilliwack in an hour. So you have to make sure you have your bag packed, because you can get that call at any time. And we left Chilliwack in an hour and we were down at VGH, Vancouver General Hospital. And, as soon as we get in there, there's COVID testing and everything else, but it was surreal. And they said, we're gonna be clearing you for operation tomorrow morning. And it ended up happening later that evening, the following day. So the waiting was just intense and scary and, oh my gosh. It was such an exciting time for our family because we truly received a gift of life. But so sad because somebody else had lost their life. So it was very, what I didn't want to have happen to my son had happened to another person's family. And I will be forever grateful. And I don't know who this family is because it's an anonymous donor. But my gosh, if they ever see this, their loved one saved his life, and they will always live through Mitchell.
Yeah.
Cris, that was so beautifully stated. It came right from your heart. So transplant day finally arrived. Can you take us back and walk us through what that day was like for you?
It hurt. Surgery afterwards, that was painful, but I'm not really afraid of surgery. So I was pretty happy about it. My mom was scared, but I was fine with it.
I was scared. You're there worried that something goes wrong in the surgery, and it's a 5-hour surgery in total. And when they go in, you can't see them afterwards. You can't see them until the next day. And you can't even be at the hospital at this point. So it was very scary, but when I received the phone call that everything went well and he was doing well, it was a relief. It was a huge relief. And the challenges around everything right now too, with COVID, the next day being at the hospital, you were only allowed one person for a maximum of 2 hours a day. So it was basically myself, my neighbor, she drove me to the hospital that night with Mitch and came down with me because my husband, his stepdad, was away at work. So he received the phone call and he was in north of Fort McMurray at the time. He got in his vehicle and drove home, and he was home within a day, Mitch's stepdad, to be there for us.
Were there any complications, or did everything go very smoothly with the transplant procedure?
The thing with him is he ended up having a PTSD attack in the middle of the night after the surgery because of the wires coming out of his neck, because of the previous situation when he was in the hospital. When he woke up from a coma, he didn't know what that was and had ripped it out. So he ended up waking up from the surgery and going into a PTSD situation where the hospital then allowed me to be at the hospital from 8 in the morning till 8 at night, as long as I didn't leave his room, and any food and drinks I had to bring in. But I was again, amazing healthcare team that allowed me to circumvent the rules of the 2 hours. I was tested for COVID at the time and negative, so they're always looking in the best interests of patients.
Yes, the transplant teams and the healthcare workers, they're an amazing group of individuals.
Absolutely.
So eventually Mitch was released from the hospital and was able to go home. How did things go from there?
The one thing I want to say is when we were in the hospital after he had come out of the surgery, because we're from Chilliwack and he was in VGH, the commute, the Kidney Foundation met us at the hospital and had found a location for us to be able to stay out close to the hospital, because what I don't think people also understand is when you have a transplant, you now have to be at that Vancouver hospital 3 times a week for the first month for checking and everything. So they helped us to find a place to stay out there that was less money, so we were able to stay as a family. He unfortunately made the decision, even though it was easier for me, he made a decision he wanted to come home and be home. So we ended up driving back and forth regardless.
I need to see my dog.
I know. But I was very, very thankful that I don't think people realize the support that is there for that as well, and how much goes in to helping families post-transplant. And you know, if we weren't in Chilliwack, where we couldn't have made the decision to come back here, people that are in different areas of the province, pretty amazing, because if you had a hotel out there, I don't know about you, but a lot of families, that would be very, very difficult. So it was very, very helpful.
More of my story coming up next on Kidney Plugged In.
Did you know one organ donor can save up to 8 lives?
You're more likely to need a transplant than you are to become an organ donor.
Donation is considered only after all life-saving efforts are made, and it's certain you will not survive.
So 2 physicians who are independent of both the donation program and of the transplant program must declare an individual neurologically dead before organ donation can proceed.
Any British Columbian who is 19 or older can register their decision about organ donation, and parents can register their children.
You only need to register your decision once.
The decal on your driver's license or care card is no longer enough.
Register or verify your decision about organ donation at transplant.bc.ca. And now you know.
And now you know.
And now you know.
And now you know.
So Mitch, it's been a year since your transplant and you've celebrated your first kidneyversary.
Yeah.
So are there words of wisdom or lessons that you've learned along the way that you can share with other kidney patients that are going through their own personal journey?
If you want to go first, Mitch.
Keep the spirits up is the best thing I can say, because that's advice I was given in the hospital. It's just, you know, if you stop laughing, that's when it really starts getting to you mentally. And just, you know, find fun where you can get it.
Perfect words from a man who's indestructible. Cris, any thoughts?
I would say my word of advice is be there for your family and support them through it, and know they're going to have good days and they're going to have bad days, and vice versa. I've had good days and bad days, but to be honest, having each other has been a lifesaver.
Yeah.
What people don't understand is that the kidney transplant isn't everything. It 100% gives you a better quality of life, but what people don't realize is you still have immunosuppressant drugs that you're taking for the rest of your life. That doesn't stop. And if you forget those medications, you can lose your kidney. You can have a rejection. having a transplant doesn't last forever. And with Mitch being so young, he will be facing another transplant.
At least one.
At least one. Down the road. So there's all of those things. And I mean, today he takes over 30 pills a day to sustain life. And even though it's a transplant and it's amazing, you still need medication and you still need doctors. You still do blood work.
You're still exhausted.
All the time.
Yeah.
You're still tired. You're still fighting all of those things, but a much, much better quality of life. But your journey doesn't end. Your journey continues.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing from you is that although Mitch's journey continues, you've learned the importance of celebrating those good moments along the way.
Exactly.
Exactly.
She went on in the hospital. You gotta celebrate the small victories.
That's what I kept saying to him every time. Celebrate the small victories. You might take a step back or 2 steps back, but you're gonna take 3 steps forward. So when you have those steps back, we just gotta keep looking for those steps forward.
A lesson for us all to learn, isn't it? You're both such an inspiration. And Mitch, you're like the poster guy for indestructibility.
Thank you.
Here's to a bright future, and may all your hopes and dreams come true.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
Let's see, so kidney is a... These are my grandpa's kidney stones. They're very precious. Kidney is a bone in your back that helps you turn. I don't know, to be honest.
They don't know kidneys are vital, do you? Get the facts at kidney.ca.
Hi everybody, my name is Cris Abbots-Ratenovich.
I'm Mitchell O'Byrne.
And we're here to tell you about the Kidney Foundation BC Yukon Branch Winter Raffle.
Has the best prizes ever. Make sure you join.
And buy.
Yes.
Because it's great. You guys are going to be so excited.
Yeah, me too.
With Christmas coming, these tickets are a hot item and will make great stocking stuffers. So how do you buy your tickets?
Just visit the website that you see on your screen.
Tickets are on sale now until December 30th at 11:59 p.m. But hurry up and get your tickets now, because only 3,000 tickets will be sold. Chances are at least 1 in 3,000 to win a prize.
I just say buy all 3,000 tickets right there.
And maybe even better than that, depending on the number of tickets sold. 1 pack of tickets is $25, or you can get 2 packs of tickets for only $40.
The draw will be held on December 31st at 12 noon.
So what are the great prizes you can win with the Winter Raffle, everybody?
You could be a lucky winner of a WestJet gift of flight. The package includes the round-trip flight for 2 guests at any and all regularly scheduled and marketed WestJet destination.
Or how about an Okanagan experience for 2? Imagine being picked up from the Grand Okanagan Resort Hotel in a beautiful stretch limousine that will take you on a stunning tour of the Kelowna Valley. I would love that. Stopping at some incredible wineries along the way, and all the wineries offering a different experience with their own Okanagan produced wine. What a great experience.
Or you could win an electronics package just for you. Picture yourself getting an Apple iPad, Apple EarPods, and an iHome wireless speaker to listen to music, watch movies, or just surf the internet.
Okay, so that everybody knows what great prizes are existing, and we all know that this is such an amazing cause. You all should get out there and buy those tickets right now, because they are selling fast.
I've already pre-ordered mine.
You pre-ordered yours?
Yeah.
When did that happen? How can you? Because that's cheating, so you can't.
I'm allowed to cheat.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I'm off to get mine now, and hopefully you can catch up and buy some behind me before I buy the rest of them. So, are you?
I'm definitely buying all of them.
No.
Yeah.
You have to leave some for other people.
I don't know about that one.
So everybody, I know you're wondering, how do I get these tickets before they sell out? Because they are going to sell fast. Contact brenda.dondo@kidney.ca or call her. I'm hoping her phone won't be busy because they're selling. 604-558-6887.
Good luck on having second prize because, sorry, I'm taking the first one.
Well, I want the second prize.
You can have the second prize as long as you win, but I'm winning the first one.
But then I get to go to the wineries.
Yeah, you can go to the wineries. I'm just going to take a trip.
And I'm going to win the third prize too because you don't need any more electronics.
I think you're wrong.
No, I know I'm right because I'm your mom.
No.
Good luck, everybody.
Life can be unpredictable. Anything from a flood, wildfire, earthquake, or even a pandemic may affect the availability of dialysis services. Being prepared can save your life. Don't wait until an emergency happens. Take the steps to be ready now. Have your copy of the Emergency Preparedness Information for Dialysis Patients booklet on hand and keep it updated with your personal information. Keep a list of your current medications with you and always have at least 3 days' supply on hand. Make an emergency pack. It should last 72 hours. Carry a BC Renal Emergency Wallet card with you. After a disaster strikes, follow these rules to stay safe. Stay at home if you can. If you are hurt, go to a hospital. Begin the emergency renal diet. Wait for instructions. Keep radio, TV, and phone on if possible. Dialysis patients should be prepared to have dialysis day or night or at another dialysis unit. Need help? Go to bcrenal.ca, health info, emergency preparedness to get started. Download important documents you will need in the event of a disaster. Get prepared. It can save your life.
And we'll work to ensure that those who need the act have the.
She goes, oh, so many emotions, and I'm like,
yeah.
Like, I got that pen. It must have been like.
Yeah.
On behalf of the Board of Directors and staff of the BC Yukon Branch, I want to wish you a happy holidays and a wonderful new year. We'll see you in 2022.